Welcome back to MetLife Stadium. Well, it's the moment we have been waiting for, the 450 main event. The riders are on the line, and that's where we once again find Caitlin Vincey for our Honda pre-race report.
Well, Jamie, we've talked a lot about Eli Tomek and Ryan Dungey, the guys in that title hunt, but there are some other competitors who could very easily snag a win away from them, one of them being Marvin Mooskan. I talked to him earlier today. He said, overall, we've been really happy with how this season has gone. We've had lots of podiums, 2 wins. He said, I've been trying to emulate Ryan Dungey in terms of his consistency, and it has certainly shown. So now there's 2 more opportunities for him to once again find his way up to the podium and maybe get his 3rd win of the year. Ricky?
Yeah, so I'm standing down here on this rhythm lane right behind me, and there are so many ruts going through here. You've seen it on the 250 class. I mean, all through here, at the bottom of the jumps, on the face of the jumps, these guys, when they land, they have to be perfectly straight. They got to make sure their foot pegs don't drag and catch their toes. I mean, check out going into this turn right here. I mean, there are ruts everywhere, and it's only going to get worse as this main progresses on here.
It is really going to be a challenge for these riders, Ricky, no doubt about it. And it could have a huge impact on who leads the points going in to Las Vegas. The riders are now out on what is known, Jeff, as a siding lap. This is their last opportunity to see the racetrack before the next time seeing it in anger.
Yeah, you want to get that whole shot. I mean, Tomek's the guy that he proved last week. He could win from anywhere. But the way that this track is shaped up tonight, it is really challenging the riders. You know, there's a couple of things that I picked up on with the lap times in the heat races. You know, the riders that had the fastest laps, Dungey and Anderson, who won the heat races, their lap times were 52.1. So they had a clear track, yet they had slower lap times than Mooskan and Tomek. Both had 51.5s, right? Quite a bit quicker, a little more than half a second. The thing about this, though, is that when you look at this group, is that Tomek, he's the lone wolf. He's out there by himself. Dungey actually has a couple allies here. His training partners at Alden Baker's place are Marvin Mooskan and Jason Anderson. So I wonder if now that it's going to be crunch time, those allies that Ryan Dungey have could play a factor in this, just like Caitlin mentioned.
No doubt about it. Well, next Saturday on FS1 Supercross, the final race of the season, and a champion will be crowned. A title battle between 3-time champion Ryan Dungey and current points leader Eli Tomek. Supercross from Las Vegas next Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern on FS1. What a night it's going to be in Vegas. So here's the last 9 finishes, Jeff, and it was that straight line across the top that put Tomek in the points lead.
Yeah, and you notice that dip there in Seattle for both riders. Dungey was 4th and Tomek was 2nd. Both riders were outstanding that night. Tomek looked like he was going to go through and win the race. He crashed. Dungey crashed off the start, came back to 4th. To me, they have proved that they are the most fit, strongest mentally riders out there. The 25 of Mooskan, given a whole shot, he has the ability to win. But now that it's crunch time, I just think no matter where the 1 and the 3 start, you're going to see those guys be 1st and 2nd when we get to the end of the main event.
Coming down over the finish line, jump with Spider Cam.
Taking a look at this. Ruts. Oh, yeah.
KTM bringing us Spider Cam here tonight. Those riders in the gate.
The view from Spider Cam makes me glad that I'm retired, because this is going to be a brutal 20 minutes plus 1 lap here tonight.
That's Chad Bailey, the AMA clock official, walking across the track. Juliana Daniel, Miss Monster Energy Supercross, has a 30-second board. You can hear the riders twisting the throttle. Final words of encouragement from the mechanics. Keeping an eye on the gate. How quick will the gate drop this time as the pyro goes off atop? Are the goggles ready? Is your heartbeat where you need it to be? Focus. Pay attention. You don't want to get the gate drop wrong. The race to the first corner is set to go in New Jersey. Drop the gates. Dungey is buried in the pack, but here he comes through. He's right alongside of Tomek.
Wow,
They're
Dungey.
battling for third. Dungey and Tomek with the points championship on the line. Coming up the inside is Mooskan. Tomek tries to get around the outside. He'll have the inside of the next corner. No, he won't. It'll be on the outside, and Dungey takes the spot away from him.
I cannot believe that Ryan Dungey got through the first turn in the position that he's in. He was late off the gate and just showed so much desire that he just threaded the needle.
Here comes Tomek right back. Will these two get together? They've raced clean so far this year. Millsaps is just in front of him, and Anderson has a race lead. Tomek takes over second as he gets around Millsaps. Here comes Dungey hanging on in fourth.
Millsaps racing hard on that Rocky Mountain KTM. Tomek gonna try to get to the inside.
Now Mooskan getting into the frame. Marvin on the number 25 Red Bull KTM. Ricky Dungey cannot allow Tomek to get away from him.
No, he sure can't, but this is where Dungey really, really thrives. What he needs to do is get right on his tail, see what he's doing, and just tag along, and I think it's going to be a battle to the end.
Down went Anderson. That puts Tomek in the lead. Dungey is now in third. He has got to get around Millsaps quick.
He does, Ralph. Millsaps has got to know who's behind him right now. It was Tomek. If he was going to be a team player for KTM, it was Tomek that he needed to hold up.
Anderson had his first hole shot of the year. The first lap's led, and he just let it all go away with that crash.
You know, Dungey has been quick here tonight. He's been solid all day long. The pressure's on right now. Now, Millsaps.
There he goes.
Dungey goes around the outside of him, so here we go.
Can he run him down?
1 and 2 in the championship, and where are they at?
And the way they run right now, 6 points. Oh! Tomek is down! Dungey's in the lead! Tomek, how many people are going to go by? A whole bunch! And the points are just drifting away from Tomek. Can he get the big Kawasaki started?
This is a long time that Tomek has been down.
There he goes. How far down is Tomek? Still dropping. His timing and scoring tries to catch up. 15th.
16th.
15th position. Dungey retakes the points lead with that crash. And right now the gap is 16 as Tomek's mechanic looks on in disbelief.
Wow, that is unbelievable. So let's see what Tomek's got.
Well,
he's going to have to plow
again.
his way through the field once again like he's done so many times this year, but he needs to limit the mistakes. And what did I say about this track? Just reaching up and grabbing him. These turns, we've talked about these deep ruts all night long. Watch the replay. Tomek has a clear track. He's got it. All he's got to do is go out and handle it and just tucks the front end, goes down, trying to exit the turn. That is a mental mistake by Eli Tomek, and it could cost him the championship.
One thing his mechanic Brian Kranz knows is that Tomek has been here before. In fact, a week ago in Salt Lake City, Jeff, he was way back, almost dead last, coming out of the gate at the start of the race, and he ran Dungey down, who was leading, and won. Well, how far back is Tomek now?
Look at all these riders, and the track is gnarly. We know that, we've heard it from other riders, that you just can't press it. You have to be patient. Tomek now in a position where he cannot be patient. He has to risk everything at this point to try to make up as many points as he can.
He's 14th. Ricky, Tomek has spent the majority of the time this year being the hunter, not the hunted. In fact, in his spare time, he loves to hunt. He likes to stalk his prey. Is he a better rider when he is the hunter and not the hunted?
Well, it's a different situation when you got that red plate on your motorcycle, and it can be heavy, and I think you're seeing the repercussions of that red plate. Some guys can handle it and some guys can't, and that was a simple mistake, like Jeff said, and champions do not do that at this level, and that's why Ryan Dungey is a 3-time defending Monster Energy Supercross champion. I said it before, you gotta be the man to beat the man. To be the man, you have to beat the man, and he is making it tough on himself. I don't see it happening tonight.
And he's not doing it quick enough either. Even with 15 minutes and 1 lap to go, Jeffy is not advancing very quickly. He's still 14th.
17.9 seconds behind here on the 5th lap. Tomek is, and
let's see what Brian Cran says to Eli on his pit board this time by. And he's still just, he's looked this way all day today, Jeff. He's just not flowing the way he has. There's one pass as he gets around Weimer. That'll move him up to 13th and gives him a point. Now it's 14 back to Dungey.
Misses that rhythm section big time right now. And Tomek, he needs to settle down right now and take a deep breath and ride like he knows how, because smooth and laps. Got to stay mentally focused right now and not compound this. Remember, this thing isn't over until the final checkered flag a week from now, but this is a big turn of events here.
And 3 seconds between him and Malcolm Stewart.
Tomek now 20 seconds behind the lead.
Ooh. Well, last there you see Malcolm just in front of Eli. Rider on the yellow Suzuki in the black riding gear. And the difference, Ricky, last week in Salt Lake City, when Eli was coming through the traffic, he just seemed like he was slicing his way through there, much faster than everybody else in the field. And today, every corner, every rhythm lane looks like a struggle.
Yeah, well, that's right. But you got to remember, guys, it's a lot different. You know, he had the points lead. It's something that he's never had before. It's a different kind of pressure. It's something that he's never experienced. You cannot discount the pressure of what it's like to be in the points lead and manage the points. It's something you really can't explain, and you cannot discount that.
This would be the 3rd victory this year for Ryan Dungey. He won the 2nd race at Anaheim, which was the 3rd event of the year. And Georgia, at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
Right side of your screen looked like Brayton made a big mistake.
Yeah.
That's going to cost him.
Yeah,
Seeley goes by.
He was battling with Anderson, who's right there on that white Husqvarna. You remember, he was leading early, then fell, got going again. He's in 6th. Barsha's in front of him in 4th, and Baggett as well right there on the 4th.
12.5 minutes plus a lap to go.
And look, on a crazy night like this with a racetrack as rough as this, Dungey's got to be careful too. He can't just phone this thing in.
Yeah, but Dungey is just, I mean, he's been the most consistent rider in podium-wise in the history of the sport, right?
Anderson gets around Baggett. That moves him up to 5th.
Anderson's going to be kicking himself for going down with the lead. We've had 3 leaders. 2 of them have crashed while leading. That's pretty frustrating.
Tomek has picked up a 2nd on Malcolm Stewart, but he still hasn't gotten around him with just inside of 12 minutes and a lap to go. And every position now so critical for Eli Tomek going into the final race of the year.
Anderson still working on Barsha.
Anderson right there on Barsha. Here's Tomek now behind Stewart. Can he get him quickly? Just not dispensing in the riders in front of him as fast as he did a week ago. Here he goes to the whoops. He's always good through here. And here's Dungey. He's got to deal with his teammate, Mooskan. And if Mooskan can get around him, that will take some points back. Mooskan right now not helping his teammate, instead helping Tomek.
Yeah, that's not at all what Ryan Dungey needs right now. Mooskan looks like he's out. He wants to win this main event, makes a mistake right there and just recovers. Very creative line there. Used the power of the KTM to hop back over that jump.
Well, Ricky, we know there's no team orders here with the Red Bull KTM team. Mooskan wants to get his own win, but he's got to be very careful not to take out his teammate and get the wrath of team manager Roger Decoster, the 5-time world champion.
Well, yeah, he don't want to take Dungey out or himself, but look at right here. Try to get by him.
He's
got
got
on rails.
And guess what? Tomek picks up some points. The gap now 10 between Dungey and Tomek. And Carlos Rivera says, come on.
That is just such an interesting position to be in right here for Ryan Dungey. Wants to maximize his points, and then his teammate training partner is just quicker tonight.
And Tomek around Stewart is in 12th. He is now trying to hunt down Reed, who's 3 seconds in front of him.
Guys, we're only halfway through this main event right there. 9:45 plus a lap. Tomek in 12th, 27 seconds off the lead.
Well, our Toyota replays of this race. Been some pretty significant moments here. The first one was Jason Anderson after getting his first hole shot. He goes down.
Yeah, lands a little awkward on that triple. That loose dirt, just can't get those tires to grip.
That gave Tomek the lead. And then this problem.
Yeah, just all in there. Once again, the soil here in MetLife Stadium, a little bit loose, loses the front wheel.
And then Marvin Mooskan, quicker than his teammate, taking the lead away.
Triples by Dungey, gets back to that inside.
Mooskan leading for the first time since leading all 20 laps in Seattle, going for his 3rd win. One first career victory in Dallas, then that victory in Seattle, and now leading here in New Jersey. What a night of racing.
Taking a look at the lap times. Last time around, it was Anderson who's in 4th that had the fastest lap at a 53.4. So Anderson still, the pace he's on, he's got about 6 seconds to catch up to Millsaps in 3rd, but Anderson could still be looking at a podium.
Tomek got around Reed. Now he's caught Grant. Tomek 9 points down to Dungey. If he can get Grant, that's another one.
Grant's going to look behind him right there and see his teammate on Monster Energy Kawasaki.
So Dungey's teammate takes points away from him. Will Grant help give a point to his teammate? How difficult will he make it for Tomek?
I don't think he's going to make it too difficult. And I would think if he was fighting for a win or a podium, it'd be a little bit different. But in the positions they're in right now,
but still, Tomek just not getting around to quick job.
yeah, he's not. He's, like Ricky mentioned, that red plate, the thought of winning this championship is starting to weigh on Tomek a bit. He has stabilized everything, and it looks like he's riding a little more fluid than what he has most of the day, but he just doesn't have that outright speed that he's had in the last 9 races, where he's been won 7 races and a 2nd in the ones he didn't win.
Jeff, think about that picture we showed earlier today of the riding position that we saw Tomek displaying a week ago in Salt Lake, and how he was in such full attack the whole time. Today, he's sitting up more.
Yeah.
He is not in attack mode.
Yeah, and this is a whole lap right now that he's been behind Grant. Actually, Grant's pulled out a couple of bike links here just in this last lap. And that's not the type of progress that Dan Fahey and the crew at Kawasaki are looking for. Points are 9 right now. Tomek's 9 behind Dungey, and there's still quite a bit of racing left, but for Tomek, it's just been very uncharacteristic here of how he's been for the last couple months.
Here's Dungey still rolling in 2nd behind Mooskan. Millsaps is about 8 seconds behind Dungey, so Ryan in a pretty good safe spot right here.
The track has gone away so much, Ralph. Mooskan, our leader, his fastest lap was a 52.1. He set the fastest lap of anyone out there. Dungey was right there with him, but just a couple of 100ths off. Right now, Mooskan's at a 54.6. It's like 4 seconds slower.
Okay, Eli once
3
again
seconds.
has caught Grant, still trying to find a way around his teammate.
Yeah, he's just not charging like he was 1 week ago. He's got Barcia in front of him also. He's got 2 points.
And look at that. He
Stalls
cases
it.
it and stalled it again. This is unbelievable.
Gives up a position to Reed. So
and
that's
loses
going
a point.
to put the points back to 10. So mentally, Tomek is falling apart.
Yeah, and Dungey starting to close in on Mooskan.
Huh.
Unbelievable. talking to Dan Fahey, the team manager for the Monster Energy Kawasaki team earlier this year, when Tomek was struggling to get going and find his rhythm. There's Frankie Latham, Mooskan's mechanic, just giving him lap times. Dan Fahey told me, we just need Eli to believe in himself the way we believe in him. Tonight it looks like Eli has lost all confidence.
Well, as we take a look what happened to Eli, this is the same section right here. Comes out of this, gets cross-redded, and backs out of it. Cases the double, even stalls it. But what's really important about what's happening right now, as you look at these replays, this could have been really bad if he had gone down. Tomek is 42 seconds behind your leader. Mooskan has now lapped 14th. Tomek is in 10th. Tomek is in jeopardy of getting lapped before this race is over.
Dungey has reeled in Mooskan, and they're really starting to set up a bit of a battle here. Boy, that sand section is getting worse and worse. And again, the lap times from mechanic Frankie Latham to his rider, Marvin Mooskan. Frankie missed Marvin's first win this year because his wife was giving birth to their child. But he was there for the second one and might be there for the third one here tonight.
Ralph, Dungey can still win this.
Oh, yes.
3.5 minutes plus a lap to go.
But Ricky, what Dungey doesn't want to do is risk giving up points and having some sort of a problem with an incident while racing so hard for the win.
Well, no, he's not going to do that. He's so calculated. That's how he's won these championships. He's really good at maximizing, you know, his position and someone else's misfortune. So I expect him to be very consistent, very conservative, and get the job done.
All right, Tomek has worked his way back up to 9th. Timing and scoring showing 7 points, the difference between Tomek and Dungey.
It is so close, and Tomek, he's got Barsha and Grant still in front of him. Brayton, 3 minutes plus a lap to go, but meanwhile Dungey showing exactly why he is a 3-time champion, because when it's crunch time, he has been mentally tough here.
Inside of 2.5 minutes and a lap to go.
Last time around, Mooskan had the fastest lap at a 55 flat, and Tomek was at a 55.6. And he sets back in 9th. He was your second fastest lap.
And Millsap's in 3rd, hasn't had a podium since the season finale in Las Vegas in 2013. And he's trying to get there if he can get around Anderson. You need to win, come on! There's Carlos, you heard him, you need to win, come on, he says. He knows the value of those extra points if he can win it.
Hey, anything can happen.
And Reed gets lapped. They've worked their way past Reed, which means they're closing up onto the backside of Tomek.
They are, they're close. Tomek's about 10 seconds ahead of Marvin Mooskan on the track.
Boy, we have seen so many plot twists to this championship tonight. Physically, emotionally, and most definitely mentally here tonight.
Well, it happened in our 250 East main event also.
Tomek up to 8, point gap at 6. That's why Carlos wants Ryan to win. 6 is what Tomek was at when he was leading. Remember, he came into the night 3 points up on Dungey.
And Josh Grant, Tomek's teammate, still ahead of him by about 5 seconds. Got to wonder if he's going to get any team orders to pull out of the way on the last lap and let Tomek by for that extra point.
That is Roger Decoster, the team manager for Red Bull KTM. His riders run 1 and 2.
Look at the intensity on Roger's face.
Known as the man, a 5-time world champion, the great Belgian racer. And here is his 2 riders, the Frenchman, Marvin Mooskan, and the rider out of Belle Plaine, Minnesota, Ryan Dungey, running in 2nd.
It's going to be 2 to go.
Dan Fahey next to him there, the Monster Energy Kawasaki team manager, hoping that his rider, Eli Tomek, can get around his other rider, Grant, and pick up another spot. Mooskan here. The clock has gone to 0. They will see the white flag this time by, and Dungey is definitely closed in, Jeff. Will he make a run at him?
Marvin Mooskan through the mechanics area after the finish line just looked over at his mechanic. He took a long, hard glance to see what was on the signboard. You gotta wonder if they're gonna ask him to move out of the way.
Mooskan is certainly not pulling over. Dungey's having to earn this. I gotta believe if there was some sort of team orders, Mooskan would have just pulled over by now.
You would think, yep.
Dungey's running hard though, and Mooskan is leaping away from it. There are no team orders. 2 to go, they'll see the white flag this time by. We'll have 1 lap remaining here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. You can, says Carlos. Frankie Latham, the other team mechanic, right in front of him, and the crowd knows we've got 1 lap to decide it here in MetLife Stadium.
Wow, so close here. Training partners, teammates.
And good friends.
Good friends.
For now. Here comes Dungey. Can he get him? How much will Mooskan risk? How much will Dungey risk? Oh, Mooskan!
Makes a mistake. Dungey flies right by for 3 extra points.
A huge moment in the championship right there. 10 points, the difference now. Ryan Dungey, here he comes. Victory number 3 awaits, and the red plate going to Vegas. Tomek sitting in 8th. Can he get around anybody else to pick up another point or 2?
His teammates, the rider right in front of him, it's about 7 seconds ahead of him. Midway through the race, he was right on Grant and could not make it happen. Whoa, that was close.
Tomek still just trying to complete this night.
It's a struggle mentally for your points leader coming into this event.
He was 3 up on Dungey. Right now it's 9. Here he comes, the final corner. And Tomek just rolls the finish line jump in utter disgust inside that helmet. Meanwhile, Ryan Dungey, his 3rd win of the year, the 34th of his career. And this championship will go to Las Vegas in Sam Boyd Stadium with 9 points to difference between the 2. We will crown a champion. Eli wanted just to go to his semi.
Officials are stopping him.
He's got to go to the podium. That's where they want him to go. And Tomek just looking for somewhere to find himself mentally. Let's go to Caitlin.
Eli Tomek obviously visibly frustrated here. Very challenging race for you, but how do you put this behind you in the final race of the year?
There's only 1 race left, so it's not good.
Thank you.
You can hear the frustration in Eli, and there you see Ryan. As the team gathers around him and he gets ready to go to the top step of the podium after this.
Welcome back to Monster Energy Supercross coverage from MetLife Stadium, where the 450 main event just concluded and Ryan Dungey is the winner. Ryan, how satisfying was this performance for you here today? And we got 1 race left.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is what we needed, just a little bit of a break in the system. And then we got off to a good start. We fought hard. Eli was riding good, and we were ready to kind of push him. He made a mistake, and then and here was Marvin. And Marvin was riding really good too. But I was able to tow him behind him, and as the moto went on, the track got really demanding, very physical, and the ruts got deeper, so mistakes were more prone. But I was able to kind of keep right on Marvin's rear wheel the whole time, and that was good. And I knew that if he passed me, I'd pick up on some of his lines that he was doing. I needed some help there, but overall, feels good. It's nice to get a win and open up the points a little bit as we go into the last round, but still another race left, so we'll try to prepare and finish her strong.
Nice job. Ryan Dungey takes that red plate back and is the points leader, guys.
Here's a look at the results, our KTM 450 main event results. As you see, Dungey the win, Tomek back in 8th, and Jeff, this is the 3rd finish of 8th or worse for Tomek this year. He was 8th at the 2nd race at Anaheim, 15th at Dallas, and that wasn't his fault. That was a mechanical issue with the brakes, and an 8th here tonight. We go back to Caitlin.
Well, Marvin Mooskan earns his 10th podium of the year. Marvin, how would you characterize your ride this evening?
Well, I'm really happy the way I rode, except that last lap. Yeah, obviously, everybody's going to think, it's teamwork, but I tried, and I saw Ryan was behind, and I mean, you see Jason went down, Eli went down, there's so many crashes today. I made a mistake, he was right there, but at the end, it's, I'm just happy the way I was riding. So thanks to the team, it's awesome to have Jason on the podium, with Alden Becker as a rider for all of 3. It's really nice to be on the podium, and KTM 1 and 2. It's good to have a pit buyer here today, and Robert and Heinz and all those guys, at KTM. Thanks to KTM, back in California, everybody working on engines and everybody working on new bikes, for the future in Austria. Everybody. It's an awesome family, KTM. Thank you.
Nice job. Marvin Mooskan leaving here with a podium. Jason Anderson also has one as well. A bit of an up and down race for you. How treacherous was it out there on that track?
Yeah, to be honest, I felt really solid out there. I was leading and just overjumped that trip a little bit and lost the front end, but excited that I was able to rebound and come back up and get a podium. But at the same time, I don't want to keep getting 3rd and 4th. I'm tired of it, so I'm going to awesome to be up here with these guys that I train with, but at the same time I want to go up there and win. So really pumped for Marvin, pumped for Ryan to get the red plate back, but striving for more, and just couldn't thank my Rockstar Energy Racing Husqvarna teaming up, Bellray, Dragon, Thor, Alpine Star, Leah, Arrow, Hilton, DVS Shoes, and Paradise Chevrolet. So I'm going to keep striving and go for that win at the last round in Vegas.
Thank you. Jason Anderson also on the podium here at MetLife.
As you look at the points, 9 going into Vegas. As we mentioned, we should note Marvin Mooskan today signing a new deal with Red Bull KTM for 2 more years. That'll take him through 2019, I guess it is, 2018, 2019. And Pit Buyer, you heard that name mentioned. That is the gentleman who's in charge of KTM Racing as we go back to Caleb.
Well, we're with Eli Tomek, who we saw had definitely a challenging race today. How do you put this behind you, kind of reset and just focus on this final race of the year, Eli?
That was a bummer. The only thing we got to look forward to is there's 1 race left, and scenarios can flip. It could happen to Ryan next week. That's all I can hope for. So 9 points is going to be pretty hard to cover or to catch back up, but it's never over till it's over. That's all I can do.
Thank you.
There's no doubt he will come out fighting, Jeff, when we get to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and Las Vegas is a tough track to really push on. It's pretty, hard pack there, and I'd rather have 9 points ahead than to be 9 behind.
You will see it next Saturday on FS1, the Supercross finale. A champion will be crowned. You can see it from Vegas, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1. Going to be a crazy night for sure, Jamie.
That's right, Ralph. Congratulations once again to Zach Osborne and Ryan Dungey. What an exciting night. You guys said it there. You set the place perfectly. Next week, 1 race to go. We will crown our champions. Well, on behalf of Juliana Daniel, Caitlin Mincy, Ricky Carmichael, Ralph Shaheen, Jeff Emmett, and our entire Fox crew, I'm Jamie Little. Thank you so much for spending part of your Saturday with us. So long from MetLife Stadium.